Have you ever found yourself in a position where clients question your prices or they say, I don't really think that this is for me, or they say, hey, I'll think about it, and they just never really get back to you. Have you ever found yourself in any of these situations? Right. And if you have, chances are you did not take the time to fully articulate what it is that you do in a way that services the client at the highest level. So today, we're going to be talking about premium value services and what the science is behind it all. And I'm going to be using the Zoom whiteboard today. I've used it twice, so there may be a few technical difficulties behind it, but just work with me, guys. This is going to be good. And I'm going to break this down, the whole science and the philosophy. And then I'm also going to give you guys actionable steps that you can take advantage of so that you can move into the next level, charge premium prices, make some more money, and build a photography business that you are looking to build for yourself. So if that sounds good for you guys, just put a 1 in the chat and let us go right into it. Now, here's what premium pricing isn't, right? Premium pricing isn't necessarily, I'm going to charge more, right? Premium pricing is really about really having a deep understanding of what it is that your clients need, and then figuring out an elegant and well put together solution to help them get there. So if you are doing any of these mistakes, chances are clients are really not being receptive to you. So mistake number one is thinking that you're selling to your clients instead of selling for them, right? That is mistake number one. And I'll see if I can put that up on the whiteboard. It's loading. It's loading. All right. All right. The whiteboard is up, right? So mistake number one, right? Thinking that you're selling for, right? And actually thinking, let me type instead, right? Thinking you're selling to instead of selling for. Now, what do I mean by that? When you're selling something to somebody, the things that we have right now, we have phones, we have cameras, we have computers. Nobody had to beat us over the head, steal our credit card, put it in the cash register, and send us home with any of these things. We already had a desire to purchase these things. And when the opportunity arose for us to buy them, it made sense. We pulled out the credit card. We made a purchase because we saw it as important. So when the salesperson in Best Buy comes up to you and they ask you a few questions like, hey, what camera are you looking for today? And you tell them, well, my camera is kind of broken. It's not really working that good. And they say, hey, well, what do you shoot? Well, hey, well, I typically shoot events. And, oh, well, if you shoot events, would you mind if I show you something over here that I think would work for you? You say yes. They go show you the stuff. And then you're like, wow, this is great. I never even knew about that. Buy. So when they're selling something, they're not selling anything to you. They're selling for you to get a better result. Because guess what now? If you get a low light lens with a professional camera body that has optimal performance in low light, that helps you to book more clients, make more money. So they're ultimately selling for you to make more money and have a better business. Does that make sense? Right? So if you make that mistake, here's what your packages typically look like. 1 hour, 2 edits, and 5 to 10 business days and 50% deposit. That's probably what your package is going to look like. The reason is you haven't taken the time to really think about what is the result that you're creating for people. So that's number one. The next part is, why do clients often say that prices are so expensive? Well, there's two things, right? one of the things here that we teach is a framework that we call the problems and solutions framework, right? What does that mean? So when somebody books a consultation call with you, they're there because they think that you have something that could help them. People don't book consultation calls all day for fun, right? So when they get on a call with you, here's what happens, right? Somebody DMs you, they say, hey, how much you charge? You say $300. They say, I need to think about it, and then they never get back to you. And that is because you're focused on the outcome that you want instead of the outcome that they want. Let me know if that's making sense so far, guys. Let me know if that's making sense so far, right? Now here's the thing that oftentimes happens to us as photographers. Nobody ever really says to us like, hey guys, like when you're gonna like sell this thing to this client, you really need to focus on the outcome that they want, right? So here's how so pretty much what we always want to do is we want to move clients away from focusing on price. We want to move clients to be focused on results. And I'm going to show you guys the framework that I've used when I've onboarded clients like H&M, when I've onboarded clients like the Brooklyn Borough President's Office, when I'm working with mortgage brokers or real estate professionals or coaches and consultants and speakers. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, when you use this framework, clients are going to say, man, like, I really love working with this guy. Like or I really love working with this girl. Like they really know what they're talking about, right? So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think of when you think of premium value service? Unmute your mic and tell me what you think of when you hear that term premium value service. Unmute your mic and tell me.
I think it generally means like you're paying a higher rate for a higher quality. That's
okay. Higher rate for higher quality. Somebody else, tell me what comes to mind when you think of premium value service?
The best quality, the best services that you can receive, something that's actually worth the time and money that you're putting into it.
Okay, so something that's worth the time and money that you're putting in. Thank you, iPhone 13 Pro Max. What's your name?
Maciel. Sorry, I should actually change the name on my Zoom.
All right. Right. So Heather, Heather, repeat your answer for me. Let me write it down on the whiteboard.
I just thought it was offering a higher level service.
Okay.
With a higher expectation of income.
All right.
Or higher cost, I guess it's better.
Okay, with a higher cost. So we have offering a higher level of service with a higher cost, something that's worth the time and money that they're putting in. Somebody else give me one. What comes to mind when you think about premium value service?
I agree with both of them. Only thing is I would add that the premium value is kind of pushing the clients out there more. It's giving them more than what they kind of was asking for due to the premium value, due to the price and everything else that's coming along with the package that they're booking. Okay. So they might have a blind idea, but it's a premium value service. So what they painting, the picture they painting for themselves, we're gonna see 10 times better, and then they're gonna love it and have no problem paying for that with the value of the pricing and whatnot.
Okay. I love these answers. Now let me give you guys a definition that I found, right? So yes, it indeed is offering a higher level of service at a higher cost. Absolutely, right? It is something that is definitely going to be worth the time and money that they're spending. And I really like that point that you just said, D, where you're pushing the client's idea more. Let me give you guys a definition, and you may want to write this down, right? So premium value service is about positioning your services in a way that helps your clients do three things: uncover the value of your service, it solves their problems, and it creates results. Those are three things about, so it's premium value for them because they receive more than what they're investing in. So anytime, if somebody decides to spend $500 with you, right? Let's use an average number. If somebody decides to spend $500 with you, they need to get $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 worth of value from the experience that you provide. Right? So for those of you who just joined, we are in teaching what premium value services is and how you could charge more for your service, so you can charge packages $1,000, $3,000, up to $10,000 for photo shoot services. All right. Now, right. So here's what premium value isn't, right? It's not a magic formula, right? It's not a way for you to win every client that comes through your door, because guess what? When you become a premium service provider, everybody isn't going to be your client, because your clients are now going to have, you're going to have certain rules. You're going to have certain outcomes. You're going to have certain standards that you set for yourself, and everybody may not be appreciative of that, right? So it's not going to be a magic formula. And I just need to make that clear so that we can set the expectation straight. And it also won't work if you don't have a solid onboarding process in place. Because I don't know if any of you ever went to any like high-end luxury provider, right? Like, so if you go to Cartier, for instance, right? There's a security guard dressed in the front, black suit, looking at everything. He's watching, standing at the door. They let you in. Hello, sir. Nice to have you here. And then when you look at the boxes, everything is in glass cases. The light coming from the ceiling is hitting the products in a way, and you're able to look at it and you're able to see the detail of the manufacturing. Or even if you look at this, look at the Apple store, right? Apple is one of the most unique companies in the world, because when you go into one of their stores, they literally have all of their products out on display. You could go in the store and you could chill out there with your friends. You could play on the latest MacBook. You know, like you could look at the iPad Pro. You can't take it home with you, but you could look at it. You could set appointments now to play with the new Vision Pro. And all of that is all a part of the experience, because guess what? Anybody that purchases an Apple product, they typically buy 2 or 3 more Apple products within that year or over a 3 to 5 year time period, because Apple is a whole ecosystem. I have a MacBook, I got AirPods, I got an iMac, I got a MacBook Pro, and I'm probably going to get MacBook slippers if they have that too, right? But that's because they've architected a whole experience. And here's the thing. This process is not going to work for you if you don't know who you sell to and how to articulate the value of what you sell. But I'm going to be showing you that today, right? So here's what this strategy is. This strategy, one, here's the framework that we teach, and you guys want to write this down. What we teach is a problem solutions framework. In order to have premium prices, you need to make your clients aware of the problems that they have. If you ask it direct and you say to your client, hey, so what problems do you have that brought you in today? They're going to say, I don't have any problems. I'm just here to do a photo shoot. So you can't really ask it like that. So how do you ask the question, right? Like you can't really say, hey, so I know based on the information that you put in the thing that you have a problem because you want to do this baby shower. And it's no, you can't do that. There's a way to do it, right? So I'm going to show you, but I just want to give you guys the philosophy first, right? So one, you have to uncover the problems that they have. And then after you've gotten a very clear understanding of what the client's problems are or what they want to happen, you then have to repeat their problems for clarity, and then you request permission to share your solution. So when your client says, hey, Jordy, what's the price? You don't say it's $500. And I'm going to show you why. So here's rule number one. Rule number one, you guys want to write this down. Rule number one. Man, I'm learning this whiteboard thing, so just bear with me. Rule number one, get clients out DMs. All right, I love the music, but please mute yourself, right? So you get them out of the DMs, off of your email, and onto, and from in person onto a consultation. That is rule number one, right? If you break this rule, you will not be able to do a premium pricing session, because people don't just make impulse buying decisions as the prices go up. It just doesn't really happen like that, right? So you have to get people in a way where you control the selling environment. Is that making sense so far, guys? Put a 1 in the chat if that's making sense, right? You have to get them into an environment where you control the outcome, right? Because when you're in person, and guys, this happened to me so much. I remember I was doing a business fair and this girl said she had a birthday coming up. I don't specialize in birthday shoots. So I was like, hey, she was like, Jordy, man, I see the pictures that you've been taking of everybody. I love the pictures. Like, how much would this cost if I want to do a photo shoot? And clients always love to do this. Oh, well, it's not really anything big. I just want to keep it simple. It's just like a few pictures in the park, like in one outfit. And here's what I said. I said $500. Then I took her number. And then I followed up with her. And when I followed up with her, this is what she said to me, right? She said, yeah, Jordy, I'll just let you know when I'm ready to do the call, Like, damn. Here's the mistake I made. I did not get them from in person and onto a consultation so that they could understand. So never break that rule. That is rule number one of selling premium value services. You have to get them in an environment that makes sense. That is the first rule, right? So here's the thing, right? If a client asks you a price in person, in email, or on the DMs, they're setting the tone. You have to be in control of the tone. And here's a few other things you could do, right? You could build rapport with them. You could ask them questions, right? You say, hey, I see that you wanted to do a insert photo shoot right here, right? So let's say I'm a branding photographer, guys, right? And what I specialize in doing is helping brands create and launch campaigns so that they can generate more leads and sell more products. That is what I do, right? Client comes to me and they say, hey, Jordy, they fill out the questionnaire and I'm going to walk you guys through that process. They say, hey, Jordy, I really want to do this. Here's what I'm going to do when I get on the call. Hey, I saw on your questionnaire that you wanted to do a campaign launch for your brand. Can you tell me some more about that, please? Put out the small talk, man. Like, they know why they're here, right? Like, small talk is for small players. And everybody here is a premium player. Right? We're not small players. We don't need, hey, so how's the weather today? Oh, yeah, the sky is blue. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh my God. Like, yeah. So pictures, right? You want to do like a photo shoot? Okay. Yeah. Cut that nonsense out. Speak to them. Like, you lower your status when you do that. And when you lower your status, subconsciously or consciously, now they look at you like, why is he asking me about the weather? But guess what? We're programmed to just give a response. Oh, yeah, the weather. Like right now it's hot, right? When you say to somebody, oh, it's so hot, they're going to say, oh, yeah, it is so hot. Conversation dies. You lose status and you lower your frame. Next thing, you get to listen to and identify their problems. Next, you get to explain the value of your service. And here's what I mean by value. You get to show them how your product or service solves their problems. You get to address their concerns, and you get to wrap your packages around their problems. If you do not do this, you're going to get stuck in 85 to 250 land. You're going to be stressed. You're going to be working with clients who you don't want to work with, and you're probably going to do it part-time and eventually quit. And the reason that I do this is I wish that I had somebody to tell me early on, hey, Jordi, if you want to charge $1,000 for a photo shoot, same hour, same 2 hours, all you have to do is to ask more questions. Some of us talk too much. We're not here to present. Cut out the presentation. This is not high school. This is not college. When you're doing a sales presentation, you should be talking 10% of the time. Your client, when done right, is actually going to sell themselves. So here's rule number 2. Rule number 2, right? I'm getting the hang of this whiteboard thing, y'all. Right? Rule number 2. Here is rule number 2. You want to tap into 3 hidden motivations. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this question. Unmute your mic and shout it out loud. Why do people buy premium services? Why do people buy premium cars or premium outfits or premium houses and everything? Like, why do people buy premium? Tell me why. Shout it out. Anybody?
Brand.
So they can look expensive.
So they could look expensive, right? Like so I'll add to that. They want to look expensive because they want to increase their status, right? That's a good one. Somebody else, give me another one. Why do people buy premium things?
To feel good about themselves.
Right? So they could feel good about themselves, because guess what? Whenever I buy something expensive or do something expensive, guess what you do? You talk about it. Right?
Yeah.
And I see y'all having fun writing on the whiteboard. Keep having fun, all right?
No, that's not intentional. My fault. No.
I'm joking, man. Don't even worry about it, right? So they want to look expensive because guess what? When you buy something premium, you feel good about yourself. You're like, yeah, I could afford that. Dirt off my shoulder. Give me one more reason, right? Why do people buy premium services?
They want to associate with a certain brand.
They want to associate with a certain brand. So guess what? When you sell a $50 photo shoot, guess what you do? You teach your clients that photography isn't worth it. You teach them that, oh yeah, it's just a couple pictures. So everybody here, this is one thing I want to challenge you guys. What you do with one client impacts all of us all across the world. Africa, and I speak to people from Nigeria, Botswana, Ireland, the UK, North America, all over the world. I speak to over 200 people a week, and everybody has the same problem. People do not value photography services, but here's what. I like accountability. Most photographers don't know how to articulate the value of what they do. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why people buy, right? Here's reason number 1. People buy because they have a past void in their life. They have experienced a lack or a gap, such as subpar photography, unfulfilled expectations, right? Like, I used to ask all of my clients this, hey, so the last person that you work with, how long did they take to send the pictures? Oh, well, like when I reached out to them and they got frustrated and told me that they were going to send the pictures the next day. But since the photo shoot, I didn't hear from them. So guess what I do when I sell? Like, one of my clients last night sent 35 pictures to be edited. This morning, we got every single one of them done. So I have my assistant texting my client right now, and they're going to tell him, hey, we got all 35 pictures done. Jordi's going to review them and then get them sent to you by 1 p.m. today. So now any client, and I know this because I have consultations with them, and I ask them, here's the question that I ask them. So tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. Use that line in your next consultation, word for word. Tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. And then they're either going to say, oh, well, I've never really worked with a professional photographer before. The last part, and if you don't add the word professional, it's not good. Like they're going to say, oh, yeah, you know, my friend. No, 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 we don't care about your friend, baby girl. Professional. No, baby boy. No, professional. Tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. Oh, well, you know, the last experience that I had was pretty good. And then here's what I do. I like to push them away. I'm like, well, why don't you go back with them if it was such a good experience? Right? Because if it was such a good experience, they would have went back. Don't let them lie to you. Here's the next one, right? People buy premium because they have present values that they uphold themselves to. If I look at myself as an upstanding gentleman and I believe that in order to be a gentleman, I need to wear a three-piece suit with a nice tie going down the middle, nice and tailored with cufflinks and a nice gold watch, I value my appearance. Right? That's one way to look at it. Right? So here's the second reason people buy premium. They have current values and standards that they adhere to, such as a desire for high quality professional work that aligns with their personal or business brand. So there's two things, right? Past void. So anything that they didn't have in the past and anything that they value now. And then here's the third one. The third one is the future thing that they desire, right? So here's the third one, right? So if they have something that they didn't have in the past, so here's what, right? People that sometimes, let's say you came from a single person home, you may have a strong desire to create a big family. If your parents are immigrants and they worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and they barely spent time with you, you're either going to be a workaholic, or you're going to have a strong desire to have your partner or friends spend more time with you. It's just human behavior. You don't want to work against it. You want to work with it so that you can create results for both you and your clients. Everybody wins. So those are the three reasons that people buy premium: past voids, present values, and future desires. Is that making sense so far, everybody? If it's making sense, put a yes in the chat for me. Put a yes in the chat if that's making sense, right? Past voids, present values, and future desires. These are the three reasons that people buy premium. Now, here's how you implement this into your consultations, right? There's like 5 key emotional reasons that people typically want to buy. And I'm going to show you how you could implement this, right? So people typically buy because they don't want to miss out. They want to, and these are 5 common, these are not all the emotional hot buttons, but I try to just summarize them into like 5 concise ones that touch general areas of the spectrum, right? So people buy because they don't want to miss out. They want status. They want security and safety. They want success and achievement, or they want love and connection. Here's how the fear of missing out one works. And before I do that, guys, I'm actually going to show you a consultation that I did today. And I'm going to show you the part of this consultation where what I did was I listened to the client speak for 15 minutes about everything that they wanted. And then I repeated back what they wanted, and I'll show you how to build your status. And this is exactly what I train all my students to do so that they can charge $500, $1,000, $2,000 for a photo shoot. Listen to this.
My experience in these different countries and really put myself as like South Africans. For South Africans who are trying to immigrate to the US.
And actually, let me give a quick backstory for context. I forgot to do that. So this client is a lawyer, and they own a law firm that does international immigration law, business law in Europe, Africa, and the United States. She's planning to build a course for some of her clients. Her clients are 40 plus, and her clients typically are retirees that want to go to Africa to start a new life. Some of these people want to start new businesses. Some of them have run into issues where like their significant other that they married wants to now take their kids and they weren't aware of the law. Some people overstayed their visa. They travel for a few months and they're like, oh, well, I'm in Africa. I don't need to worry about anything like that. They do over 6 figures a year. And the purpose of them building this course is so that they can pre-educate their clients before they run into all of those problems that they come across. So immigration problems. Sometimes they get assaulted, they overstay their visa. Sometimes they have to deal with divorce and family issues. So same problem solutions framework, it applies in every industry. So that's the reason that she's building the course. And that's why she wanted to do a consultation with me to figure out a plan. And that's to just give you guys some context as to what we were talking about. Okay.
My kind of like Instagram is kind of like, no, I understand because I used to live in your country. Ugandans, yeah.
Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear the call? Let me see if this works. All right, let me try that. Let me know if you guys can hear it, please. Okay, all right, cool. Different ball game. So, right here.
That base of my kind of like Instagram is kind of like, no, I understand because I used to live in your country. Ugandans, yeah, I understand y'all because I used to live in your country. And so even if my content is catered for the Americans and Ugandan will see, she was in my country. Oh, entry through immigration. They could tap into that, but it may be a different funnel.
Yeah. Now, so here's what I'm going to do now. I'm not going to go talk about my service. And this is very critical for your sales call. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to now just repeat back everything that she said, and that's going to elevate my status on the call. Look at what I do. Tell you what I've heard so far, right? Mm-hmm. So the course structure is going to help Americans who want to relocate to Africa to learn how to successfully relocate, prepare for their love life, their finances, or set up a business if that's something that they're interested in. You're going to be covering the areas of pre-law, immigration, living and loving in Africa, thriving financially when things go wrong, which is the worst case scenario. And also sharing some of those stories, I guess, like you just shared, on like a case-by-case basis so people could understand how similar people like them have gone through similar situations. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking like do Jordi have one of those little recorder things that write notes for him at the same time? Because you captured that so perfectly. Okay. I'm like, I've been meaning to get one of those. But yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right? So now that I've repeated, so you gotta listen. You gotta listen. So all I did was I was like, and I'm typing while she's talking. That's why she think I got the AI, right? But I had no AI in the call, right? I'm just typing, okay, and I'm nodding, showing her that I'm listening, responding, and I did so for 15 minutes. I did not say a single word. At the end of this call, quote, $2,800. We're going to move on to the next project, right? Like it's easy. It's easy, but you have to listen. The money is out there for you, right? So now when I show her that I'm listening, she's like, wow, like this guy really just sat down and listened to everything that I said. I'm like, You have to see, like, I talk a lot of Instagram guys, but I'm spending most of my time listening to you guys. I'm listening to what problems you have. I'm listening to the outcomes that you want. And that's why I'm able to make content every single day. If you're in my broadcast channel, I post in the broadcast channel every single day. And all I'm doing is listening to what you guys want. And I'm helping. The only reason that this weekly training exists is because you guys told me that you have a problem with pricing, attracting clients, and you don't know how to structure your packages. That's the only reason that this exists. Otherwise, I'll be talking in a vacuum, just mentally masturbating to my own voice. And I'm not like, that's not going to help anybody, right? I'm not doing this because of my good looks. I'm doing it because a large number of people, a large number of photographers worldwide have stated that they have a problem attracting clients, doing pricing, and onboarding them so that they can get success. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? So I'm going to give you some questions that you can ask to get your clients onto that premium track, all right? So here's some questions that you could ask. Now, in order to orchestrate this process, right? Like a premium process is a well-orchestrated process. So the very first step in this process is that you want to set up an online booking system, right? This is the very first thing that you want to do. I know it's basic, but when a lot of people don't do the basic stuff right, which is why they don't make money, right? So if you really want to make money and you want to charge premium prices, Damani, I saw you just, Daniel, audio is still connecting, so I'll wait, right? So the first thing, you want to set up an online booking system. You want to choose a platform, Calendly, Acuity Scheduling. My personal favorite is High Level. And then you want to integrate this with your website and your social media platforms. And then you want to ensure your calendar is updated with your available consultation times. It's a very basic step, but not a lot of people do it. So instead of showing your prices, show the times that you're available and ensure that your clients understand what it is. Because guess what? If a client came to my price, to my website, and they saw that my packages start at $1,000, they're probably not going to hit me up. So the rule, get your prices off of your website and then focus on increasing the amount of consultations that you get. Now, here is rule number 2, right? You want to put these questions. So you want to have a questionnaire, guys. So the questionnaire is the next thing that you want. So the questionnaire, here's what you're going to put on the questionnaire. These are some very important questions. If you sell to businesses, you want to ask them their monthly revenue. You want to ask them what type of project they want to do, the date that they want to do the project, and then you want to give your price range. So I tell people, hey, if you want to do a standard, like entry-level photo shoot with me, it's going to be between $800 to $2,500. Are you okay with this? Yes or no? And then they're going to put yes, or they're going to put no. When they do that, that is going to give you a good indication as to whether or not they qualify to work with you. If they say no, cancel the call. It's a waste of time. Next, you want to ask, this question has changed my consultations dramatically. Ask them what outcome they want to get on a call with you. And then here's what I do when they get on the call. Hey, so here's what I literally do this all the time, right? So, hey, and I'll just use Heather's name since I could see your pretty face, Heather, right? Hey, Heather, I saw that you wanted to do a branding photo shoot. So in like April is too far, right? I saw you wanted to do a branding photo shoot in September so that you can start developing a course for your brand. And I saw that it was very important that you had just clarity on how the overall process works, right? Can you tell me more about that, please? And then they're going to start talking, right? Now, here's how you do the consultation, guys, right? So those are the questions that you put before. So now when a client says to you, hey, Jordi, what's your price? You say, hey, I'd really love to help you more. But in order for me to really help you and like give you an accurate quote, the best thing for me to do is to really get you on a consultation. If you're in person with somebody, say, hey, so how much you charge? I was like, hey, depends on who you are. I'm not going to charge Michael Jackson the same price as Beyonce. I'm not going to charge Obama the same price as my local politician. It just really depends on who you are and what you want. Like if you have a big campaign you want to do, price is going to be high. If you want to do, and sometimes when I do that with people, they say, oh, you don't sound cheap. And I say, no, I'm not. All right. Sean, I'll answer your question in a few, right? Just save your question or write it down, right? So now, somebody asks you your price, you get them on a consultation, you put those questions on your questionnaire, And then now, here's what you do when you get on the consultation. Rule number one of any consultations is this. I'm going to paste this in here for you guys. Cut out the small talk. Small talk is for small people. We're big people over here. We're professionals. We don't do small talk. When you go to the doctor, you're going to the doctor because you want to get rid of that stomach ache. The doctor may ask you a few questions to warm you up, but they're going to say, hey, so I saw that you have a back pain. How long has that been going on for? Just get to the point, right? And you're also not there to be their friends. You're there to help them with a problem. So here are some and these are Jordi's iron rules. You're not going to find these on Google. I'm not saying that they work for everybody, but I'm just saying that this is what has worked for me. So you want to start the conversation by acknowledging the project that they want to do. And then you want to ask questions to uncover their problems. So here's what everybody does before they come to a consultation with you. They shopped around. Question that this is not what I'm saying, but questions that I ask clients sometimes is like, hey, so tell me, have you been shopping around for other photographers to see which one best fits your style? Like, don't even make it sound like a bad thing. Everybody price shops. I price shop, you price shop. Like, don't pretend that you're an exemption from the rule just because you have a business, right? Everybody does that. Now, here's what I want you guys to ask. So in addition to that question earlier, tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. You say, what have you tried before in the past? Okay. How did it work for you? What results did you get from that? Then you want to ask, after they unload all of the questions on you or all of their problems or everything that they want, then you say to them, hey, so with your permission, would you like me to review how my product or service can help you to get results? And you always want to ask permission for that, because when you ask permission, you invite them into the sale. And when you do those things, you will close more sales than you're losing right now. So to recap, before we close everything out, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. When you're selling to people, you want to sell to their past voids, their present values, and their future desires. When somebody asks you for the price, you want to get them, whether it's email, text message, DM, in person, get them into a consultation so that they can understand what is the value that you are able to provide to them. And then when they're getting ready to book your call, put these questions on your questionnaire. They work, and you'll see how they dramatically will change your. And look, if you charge $200, put your base price. Look, like, here's something that people always do. People always are going to pick the lowest price anyways. So if your lowest price is like $500, right? Like, just put like $700 as your lowest price. So now you know that they're okay with you selling something that's $700. It works all the time, right? When you do all of those things and you start your consultation off by saying to, hey, Jordi, I saw that you wanted to do a branding project because you were experiencing some trouble in the past. Tell me more about that. When you do all of those things, you put yourself in a premium pricing box, and you'll be able to charge more money than you ever have for your service. You make more profit. You'll be able to invest more in your business, and you'll be able to expand your team and have the photography business of your dreams. That is how you do premium value pricing and how you bring premium value service to your clients. Thank you, everybody.